Oh, hi there. Today I'd like to make a video about gambling in sports. And I'm going to talk more than just hockey pools and sporting bars. That's bottom of the barrel, low level gambling. It gets more complicated than that. I realize in sports bars these guys are very serious who put down bets on teams. And emotions can run high and people lose their cool. That genuinely happens when you lose money. I'm not too familiar with that scene. I don't really know. I wouldn't even know where to go. I don't know. I'd be interested in checking it out, but I wouldn't put down any significant money on any particular game. Anyway, yeah, you get your, low levels who do hockey pools. They put in $20 or whatever, and at the end they may get like a $300 winning if they come in first and out of 30 people. And those are usually, friends and things like that, and it's pretty low key. There's not much going on in those sort of things. It's purely by chance, because usually it's about what particular players are going to score a lot of goals, which ones are going to get points, and what teams are going to win, that sort of stuff. But gambling in sports goes far deeper than that. The simpletons version is sporting bars and hockey pools. The more complicated, bigger stake gambling goes on with people who are connected in some way or form to hockey. The thing is, like anyone who gambles, they gamble with the idea that they're going to win money. There are some people out there who just gamble because it's an addiction and a neurological disorder, and they gamble even if they're losing. But, eventually those people run, out of money and they're done. They can't gamble anymore. The problem sorts itself out for them. But the addiction of gambling amongst people who have more resources, that can run deeper. And it is more than just betting on individual players or hockey organizations. The people associated and who put money into these things also put money into other things too that they figure are going to make money. And the National Hockey League is no different. They invest in music, technology, you name it, the fishing industries, oil companies, everything, because they want to make more money. And for individuals wanting to make more money, I could, hypothesize a few reasons why. For example, when you get in an inner crowd, it's guaranteed you're going to run into people who don't like you, and you're not going to like them, and you have to get it over them. You have to beat them, because it becomes a different level of humiliation losing to these people. And everybody in the inner circle of society has people that they can't stand. It's something you have to tolerate. Like, you have to tolerate being in a room with people you absolutely can't stand if you want to be somewhere significant. You want to be some douchebag where you're hearing the same old rhetoric, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, blah blah blah, simple story all the time. Chances are you're on the loser side of the bus. And, I aspire to not be in the nosebleed section of whatever it is I'm doing. Yeah, that is a reason. there's always something better you can get. You can always upgrade your situation so that presumably you take less bullshit from people above you. That's another reason for, wanting to just get more and more and more, which is inherent nature of capitalism, unfortunately. Because, the other argument is, when you're already, not bad off, you got certain things going for you already, do you really need that much more? In the sense that, for lunch, how many lobsters are you going to eat? How much veal and how much tenderloin are you going to eat? How many houses are you going to live in? How many cashmere coats are you going to wear? In that sense, there is a limit, because, there's just no point of having endless amount of stuff, because then everything becomes unpersonalized, and it's not like it's really yours, and you're not even going to notice when it's missing. So from that perspective, you go, well, I don't need to just keep making money here. But a big part of people wanting to make more money is that they want to get it over someone who's standing above them in whatever scene they're at, who's caused them trouble and made things harder for them. Because there's always somebody out there who, like I said, doesn't like you and will make things harder for you and will do things that you don't like. And sometimes it can be I'm not just going to sit here and take this because it's so grievously offensive to me that, I'm going to see what I can do about it. The hierarchy just goes up and up and up and up. And the higher you climb up, the more you understand. And, some people, when they manage to climb up higher, they have bias. They have reasons for being not a nice person because of personal things that have happened in their lives. And it's a bumpy ride for everyone, and or for most people, and it can affect people's personalities. I've had a bumpy road, regardless of what people believe, but I won't let it make me a jerk necessarily. I will be a jerk from time to time, but as I said before, I would rather appear to be a jerk and actually be nice in a way than appear to be nice and be meaner when looked at from a different perspective. So anyway, gambling goes on. In the NHL, they don't just gamble on hockey itself, because hockey is a capitalist institution. They want to perpetuate it by making money. And if they can make money doing other things, then of course that's going to get integrated into hockey. No one who talks about hockey is ever going to admit that, especially no NHL player in any interview. They are told what they can say, how they say it, and it all sounds kind of the same. Usual kind of interviews that they have. Everyone knows what they sound like. But, as I said, the NHL dabbles in other things because they can introduce whatever money they gain from other sources into the NHL and make the NHL more powerful. So yes, they invest in music, celebrities, new technology, anything you can think of, housing. They try to, you go, well, the NHL has nothing to do with politics. On the surface, that would look true, but it's not. Behind the scenes, they're right in on there, putting their 2 cents in on policies, because they're not stupid. Like, they're not, the bottom of the barrel, nobodies who don't know nothing. They have opinions on, decisions that the higher-ups make that affect everyone. And I mean, if you knew about politics, of course you would have an opinion about it. Like, when you're so down, the barrel of power in society, you don't see things for how they really are. You always get a vague, indescript description of things. You don't really know what's going on, and it's also told in you in a manner where it seems like it's not really important. Not much is going to change. It'll change a little bit, but it doesn't seem too drastic. They pitch it in a certain way that it's less offensive. It's more palatable. Although they're doing things that are really offensive. And all this has to do with gambling, and all this has to do with the NHL perpetuating its own image and just creating an entity that has a powerful influence in the world. Yes, and of course there are other factions that have differing opinions. It's my honest opinion that the NHL doesn't hold in high regard the LGBT movement or homosexuality or any of that sort of stuff. And I like that a lot about the NHL. That's the general vibe I get. I mean, the Vancouver Canucks, they wore the rainbow colors. The one team to do that has to be Vancouver. I wish they didn't do that. But I'm sure for whatever reasons it was done. So anyway, as I said, there are other figureheads in other propaganda institutions that have different agendas, and unfortunately the music industry at this point in time has leaned towards well, I don't have an issue with female vocalists, I really don't, but they've been really pushing an agenda of homosexuality, equalism, and all this sort of stuff, which all, if somebody wants to do that and it's within reasonable means, that's not really an issue, but it gets worse than that. So yeah, like I made a video about Gaga the other day, and I had to take some serious things into consideration when I started talking about that, because I doubt many NHL hockey players enjoy talking about her or associating her with the NHL. I don't know how much money she has invested in it, how much of her acolytes have money invested in it, but I'm sure there's some, not in everyone's face or anything, but behind the scenes it's there. And I just never want to see the incorporation of that sort of set of ideas into the NHL. But there are other people out there in different factions that have different opinions on things, and this is where the gambling comes into effect. They're hedging their bets that something is going to be what the future is. And, that can be scary, because, it ain't gonna work on me. Regular everyday propaganda doesn't work on me. But it works on a lot of young people. They see something, it affects them. Even, just on a subliminal undertone of something can really impact how someone develops as a person, and then when they get older they get really set in their ways about their opinions and they won't change their minds over anything. Even if they are wrong, some people are like that. Um, yeah. Anyway, I think the NHL has been a good educational tool for, well, basically propaganda and entertainment for young people growing up. Of course, they have made mistakes in the past. So has everyone. But we're at a point where there's a lot of politics about the game that are continually always being addressed, behind the scenes, in negotiations with higher ups. And there are people out there that want to change aspects of the game to a not beneficial for the fans' point of view. Obviously, NHL hockey is a lot more complicated a sport than, just the 20 guys on each team, duking it out and on the ice. Don't get me wrong, I am entertained by that, but it's not the only thing hockey is about. And too many hockey fans don't see it that way. They got, very ignorant, willfully unknowledgeable opinions on the matter, and they just, you can't reason with them, and even though they'll never admit it to themselves, they're being pig ignorant. What I'm getting at is gambling is normal state of affairs for the NHL and all sports and all industries, because they want to make more money, and they don't make just reckless gambling decisions, or at least not so much anymore, because they want the biggest payout. So they may not, hedge their bets on one particular thing because they don't agree with that thing, even though they think that thing is probably going to win because other people like it, because they may have an unperceived bias or whatever combination of reasons. I'm sure there's endless amount of things that can happen that will influence someone's decision. Nowhere on the internet are you going to learn about this sort of stuff from a credible source. So, take what I had to say into consideration, and do whatever you want with what I've told you. That's basically what I got to say. There's definitely a lot of powerful individuals out there that have different perspectives on what the world should be about. And, I wear my hockey jerseys proud. I don't know. Can't wait till the next NHL season starts. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.